Okay, so now let's take a look at brushing on our erosion. Now, we have three different types of erosion that can be brushed, being thermal, fast hydraulic, and tidal. Wind cannot be brushed because it requires multiple iterative calculations to take place to give you the final result. And you can't brush that on, basically. Only things that can be calculated in one go can be brushed. So let's start off here with thermal. It's pretty easy to do the brushing, but there are a couple of things to keep in mind. If you have any of the terrain tools active, you will see the erosion brush gizmo, which is this great big sphere thing with the plane and the cross in the middle of it. Now notice I'm still seeing the blue kind of hazy brush that we get from normally painting terrain. That shouldn't really be there. I mean, it can be there. It doesn't hurt anything for it to be there. I just find it confusing. So what I tend to do is come up to my normal terrain mode, and I will set that over to settings, which switches off that bright blue brush. So we're no longer painting that. Now the reason I do that is because that way if I accidentally click the mouse, I don't end up painting an altitude or pulling up an elevation or anything like that. Now, when you are painting inside the Terrain Toolkit, painting down your erosion, remember the mouse button is completely irrelevant. It's an easy thing to forget because you've probably spent years, or you could have spent years, I know at least I have, thinking that in a computer, anytime you're using a brush, you're going to click the left mouse button to draw a stroke. Not the case here. So what I'm going to do is jump into thermal erosion. I'm going to set my preset to the thermal erosion brush. It's been optimized to work best with brushing. And then here we can see the brush itself as this little three-dimensional sphere with a plane in it. All we have to do to actually brush down erosion is hold the Shift key. I am not clicking the mouse. I'm just holding Shift. The cursor here turns red, and you can see that we are indeed causing some erosion to happen. But again, just to drive the point home, we are not clicking the mouse button. Now we can switch over to hydraulic, and only the fast type is going to work here. If I switch over to full, you'll notice the brush settings go away. Velocity is the same way, so we leave this on fast. This will work. Just make sure you set your preset to the hydraulic brush type, and then we can brush that down as well. So it's a nice way to control, if there are areas where you do want erosion to happen, but not in others, or you want it to happen to a different degree in others, then the brushing does come in pretty handy. Though in most cases I find that I will apply my erosion kind of en masse and then go back and maybe smooth a few areas out. And if you find yourself over smoothing, then these come in handy. So for instance, like let's say I really don't like this great big rock shelf that's taking place over here. I could go back to the original terrain tools, grab the smooth tool, and then maybe pull down its opacity quite a bit, and we can smooth that out. Now I am clicking the left mouse button here because I'm not actually using the erosion brush. I'm using the original smooth tool. And now that I've done that, I could come back in and I can now paint on some more erosion by just using the Shift key. So you can, between the two, you can go back and forth and get exactly what it is you're looking for. So again, with erosion, you're painting by holding the Shift key. With your original tools, you're using the left mouse button. So that is a look at painting down your erosion. That is going to wrap things up for this video. Thanks a lot.